Okay, good evening everyone. I've just finished integrating a fair number of new things onto the quad, so I thought I'd do a quick video. I'll start at the front and work backwards, I suppose. First thing I've integrated or replaced is the FPV cam at the front. I was originally using a Bosscam TR1 camera, which has an integrated 200mW 5.8 gig transmitter. The camera was okay, but I have found, as some others, the low light level and also dynamic range performance of the camera wasn't great. So I wanted to use a on-screen display module, and the camera was fairly highly integrated. Without butchering it, I couldn't see an easy way of breaking the video out through the on-screen display module and back again. So anyway, to cut a long story short, I've ditched the Bosscam TR1 and I've replaced it with this. Apologies for the handheld video, but it's easier to navigate around the quad if I'm holding the camera as opposed to tripoding it. So the camera I've put on the front now is this little puppy here. This is a 3rd-inch Sony Super HAD2 CCD camera, which has had quite good reviews. 600 TVL. It's really nice. It's very flexible. It's got a really comprehensive on-screen display setup, including the Sony's sort of low light level compensation system, which seems to work really well. I haven't flown it yet, but by all accounts it works really well. So I've mounted the camera on the front. You can pitch it on its little mount, and also behind it I've mounted comes with this little 5-button array which allows you to navigate through the on-screen display. So that's replaced the Bosscam TR1 camera. Now that left me with another issue, because the Bosscam TR1 had an integrated transmitter. This camera doesn't. It's just a camera. So in here I've now got a 200mW transmitter module, which is a bit difficult to see, but it's buried in there. I'm rapidly running out of real estate on this quad. RF coming out of here. Oh, again, sorry for the handheld nature of this. Coming out of here, and then straight down into a cloverleaf style antenna pointing directly down, reasonably clear of all obstructions. Okay, so that's the camera and the transmitter. So then I was left with what to do with the on-screen display module, and also the existing module I had, which is the radio telemetry downlink. So I sort of built this module. It's easy if I probably fold this down and see what's going on. So at the rear I've built this module. I was toying with the idea of milling a PCB for this, but to be quite honest, it was really just a wiring job. So in the end, I've perished the thought. I've actually used a piece of Vera board, which I never thought I would use again, but there you go, I have. So what have we got here? Something to point with. So in this module here, we've got in this box we've got 2 modules. Here is the 433 megahertz telemetry radio downlink module, and here is the on-screen display module. So basically this end of the on-screen display module is the microprocessor interface, or the connection to the quadricopter module, and then this is its processor, and this is the video overlay chip that the processor controls. This end is the 12-volt analog video end. So I've got video coming in from the camera, which I just described. Video coming in from the camera through the on-screen display module, and then back out to the transmitter that I just featured. Connected with this is the, as I say, the 433 meg telemetry downlink, and the which I've removed the SMA connector and connected a small piece of coax to the lid, and then mounted the antenna for the telemetry unit onto the lid. There's a little switch here you can probably see. I'm not going to go into sort of masses of detail about this, but basically both of these modules are attempting to talk to the quadricopter at the same time using their TX lines. So what I've done is I've fitted a switch here so I can select between the TX line, the on-screen display module, or the TX line of the radio downlink module, and I can effectively switch or multiplex between the two and control which one is the master in terms of talking to the quadricopter. I hope quadricopter controller. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, you can see them working in there. Hopefully this camera is able to focus. Yep. And then the idea is that I take this lid. It's not fixed at the moment, but I'll just screw it into position. So that sits on the back there, just in front of the battery warning indicator, with said antenna sat on the top, and it's all nicely integrated rather than having sort of like modules floating around all over the place. It works really well. I haven't had any problems with it. I've set up the on-screen display module, and also to get the telemetry information I want. It's all working fine. Been using my little well, you can see it's actually displaying the image, and you can see, well, I don't know if you can see it or not, but you can see the on-screen display telemetry information, which is, well, you can see it's working because the voltage and current there are twitching around, and the artificial horizon works fine if I was to pick the quad up and pitch it, and also the compass. And I've got various other, I mean, I may end up updating this on-screen display at some point. Notice at the rear here I've mounted a 6-pin header which connects directly to the on-screen display module. The idea being, sorry for this handheldness of this video. Little USB to serial interface module, which I'm using to set the on-screen display module up. So with the quad powered down, I can simply plug this onto this header, plug the USB for the PC into there, and then I can I'm still able to set the on-screen display module up. And then when I've made the appropriate modifications, I can just unplug this, hopefully then not lose it, and then yeah, get my new revised on-screen display information. Yeah, it all appears to work fine. Don't think it's added any sort of significant weight, maybe a few tens of grams. As I say, by removing the Bosscam camera, I've effectively replaced it with another camera and then a transmitter. So I don't think there's any weight really gained there, and it doesn't seem to have altered the centre of gravity of the model. So yeah, I just need a day when it's not raining, which it is at the moment, to give it a flight test and see how it goes. But I don't think there's much more I can pack into it at the moment. It's pretty much full up. I'd quite like to add the underside ultrasonic ground sensing module, which would give me better altitude hold below about 10 meters instead of just relying on a barometric pressure sensor. I quite like altitude hold. So yeah, so there we go. Any questions, fire away. I'm going to post a little schematic of the wiring for the two modules I put in the box in the rear there. I mean, there's loads of information on the internet. It's not like I've done anything new. but I've done a little schematic, so I'll post that up, including the switch wiring. Although I'm not entirely sure the switch will be needed, I just put it in for completeness just in case. It appears to be working fine. I'm getting on-screen display information and telemetry information, so yeah, all good. Anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers.